Hi guys, it is Mr. Fed. Welcome back to the channel. I am back in the man cave. I'm going to do a quick show and tell video of my wrestling DVDs. Now, my wife was up in the loft. She had to, I think it was like reset a switch for our security lights, because going up in the loft and resetting switches for security lights, I mean, that's a pink job in our house, so I don't think I could get my big old behind up through the loft hatch. So she was up there and she said, "Your wrestling DVDs are up here. Would you like me to bring them down?" So I said, "Yeah, I haven't seen these wrestling DVDs in about 15 years. So they've just been living in a box. I can't even watch them because I don't actually have a DVD player. I'm going to have to go to like cash converters and try and pick up like a cheap second-hand DVD player for the man cave." So yeah, it's really good to see these DVDs. Now, before I go through what I actually have, I think it's important to go through what I don't have, because I've noticed that there are some missing. Now, when I was at uni and I was living in like a house of multiple occupancy, I wasn't as careful with my DVDs or games like I am now. I used to lend them out to friends. I'll never get them back. They used to get mixed up with other housemates' DVDs, and they'll get lost. So I'm actually missing a DVD. Bret Hart, I'm missing a Ric Flair one, which is really unfortunate because that had the 1992 Royal Rumble on it, and I love watching that Royal Rumble. I'm missing Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, and I'm missing Stone Cold Steve Austin. So there's 4 that I've noticed that I don't have anymore. However, let's just go through what I do have. So first one is this documentary here, Beyond the Mat. I don't know if anyone's seen this. It's an absolute jaw to the floor documentary. There is the best part of this DVD is The Rock and Mankind. They had an I Quit match, didn't they, at the 1999 Royal Rumble, and there's a behind the scenes kind of bit on that match. And Mick Foley was hit in the head something like 15 times by The Rock with a steel chair, wasn't he? And the injury on his head is so bad, you could literally see Mick Foley's skull. The skin just completely came away from his head. And Mick Foley's kind of disclosure that, The Rock didn't deserve to be put over as strong as Mick Foley put him over. So that's Beyond the Mat. That's a documentary. Really enjoy that one. Let's have a look. What else we got? We have Judgment Day and Fully Loaded 2000. Fully Loaded 2000 is probably one of my favourite ever pay-per-views of all time. Every single match on there is an absolute killer, no filler. The standout match is the Last Man Standing match, isn't it, with Triple H and Chris Jericho. I highly recommend you watch the match. It's absolutely brilliant. And of course it's got Rikishi's jumping off the top of a cage onto squashing Val Venus like a pancake on Fully Loaded 2000 as well. The other one is Judgment Day 2000. That's best remembered for the Iron Man match between The Rock and Triple H, which Triple H won 6-5, following interference from The Undertaker, who made his return on that pay-per-view as well. Let's have a look at this one then. We've got Survivor Series 1995 and Survivor Series 1996. Obviously, Survivor Series 1996, that is Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, however you know him. That's his crowning glory, wasn't it? That's when he won the World Championship against Shawn Michaels. Now, Psycho Sid was the heel, Shawn Michaels was the face, but this was held in Madison Square Garden, and Shawn Michaels was booed, without mercy. He was absolutely booed out of the building. Nobody wanted to see the boy toy win that match. Everyone wanted to see Psycho Sid win that match, and Psycho Sid had the whole of Madison Square Garden just eating out the palm of his hand. I mean, he was absolutely electric. That is probably one of my favourite wrestling matches of all time, simply because of the crowd reaction and the crowd reactions to Psycho Sid winning that championship. We got Mr. Perfect. Rest in peace, Mr. Perfect, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, wasn't he? Crikey. His matches with Bret Hart, they're legendary, stuff of legends, aren't they? So I would highly recommend watching his SummerSlam encounters with Bret Hitman Hart. But yeah, Mr. Perfect, great DVD, really enjoyed watching that one. What else we got? we got Macho King or Macho Man Randy Savage. This is presented by I can't remember his name. Can't remember. His name escapes me. But what match would I pick out of this? I mean, God, everyone remembers his classic with Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. My personal favourite Randy Savage match, well, I've got two actually, and they're both at WrestleMania because Randy Savage was the original WrestleMania. WrestleMania 7 against the Ultimate Warrior in the career-ending match. That was absolutely brilliant when old Ultimate Warrior kicked out of Randy Savage's 5 elbow drops. I mean, you've never seen anything like that before. That, you know, you get people kicking out of people's finishes all the time now, but back then it was really, really rare. And to see him kick out of 5 elbows, I mean, that literally had me popping. You know, I think my head hit the ceiling. Another Randy Savage match, WrestleMania 8 against Ric Flair. That whole angle in 1992, where Ric Flair was courting Miss Elizabeth, saying that, you know, she was mine before she was yours, and had those photos doctored of Ric Flair and Miss Elizabeth. I mean, that is Ric Flair and wrestling at its absolute peak. It was absolutely brilliant. So those two matches for Randy Savage. Then we have Goldberg. Really good DVD, to be honest. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. The best match on here is Goldberg versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and that took place in 1998, didn't it? On a Nitro recording. The roof absolutely blew off Atlanta when Goldberg pinned Hulk Hogan clean for the 1, 2, 3. And it's remembered for that call, isn't it? Tony Schiavone call, where you know, Goldberg picked up Hogan for the jackhammer, and Tony Schiavone just said he's got him up, and God, it sends shivers down my spine every time I hear it. And then delivered the jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, absolutely killer match. And crikey, the crowd make that match because they were absolutely white hot. What else we got? Eddie Guerrero, love me a bit of Viva la Raza. This one, what match will I pick out of Eddie Guerrero? I mean, he's had some absolute killers, hasn't he? But my favourite match with Eddie Guerrero was probably the one he had with JBL. I think it was either at the Great American Bash or something like that, I think. Now, in that match, JBL hit Eddie Guerrero over the head with a steel chair in what is the absolutely most sickest, vile chair shot I've ever seen in a professional wrestling match. Eddie Guerrero bladed himself, but he botched it, didn't he? So he ended up slicing through one of the arteries in his forehead. And the juice job that Eddie Guerrero did, I mean, it is one of the biggest juice jobs I have ever seen in professional wrestling history. If you Google JBL Eddie Guerrero steel chair shot, I mean, you'll probably find it on YouTube, and you have a look at the amount of blood loss that Eddie Guerrero suffered here. It was, you don't get chair shots like that anymore. I mean, obviously with what we know now about concussions and CTE and all that, those chair shots like that don't exist anymore. Probably better for it, because my word, I mean, JBL absolutely took Eddie Guerrero's head off. So worth watching just for that chair shot. I would get on YouTube and Google it and see how much blood Eddie Guerrero lost in that one. And then we have Hulk Hogan, rest in peace, just recently passed away, didn't he? Probably the biggest draw in professional wrestling history. Had all sorts of other controversies in his private life. But I'm partial to a bit of Hulk Hogan, to be honest. Now I'm going to pick obviously everyone knows about him body slamming Andre the Giant, and, you know, headlining multiple WrestleManias and coming back and facing The Rock, wasn't it, at WrestleMania? Is it 18? I think he fought The Rock. I'm going to go with WrestleMania 18. The match on here, though, that is really underrated. It's a tag team match. It's Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels versus Muhammad Hassan and Daivari. I mean, it's a typical tag match. I just absolutely love it for Hogan's sort of reactions and the crowd's response. But essentially, Shawn Michaels was getting sort of the doo-doo beaten out of him by Muhammad Hassan and Daivari, until he made the hot tag for Hogan. And when Hogan got that hot tag, oh my word, like the shivers, and, you know, it just makes my hair stand up on end. It is, you know, his face, his reaction, his Hulk up routine, and of course, you know, Daivari was never going to get away from that match without taking the 3 counts. So I think it was the big boot and the leg drop on poor old Daivari. It was an absolute underrated classic. I love that match. So that's the match I'll pick on the Hulk Hogan DVD. We got here Triple H. Triple H, I mean, he had an absolutely fantastic run, didn't he, 25 years ago when he won the belt, I think, in January 2000. And then he had like 4 or 5 months as, you know, the McMahon-Helmsley sort of faction. He just was absolutely on fire during that period. He could do no wrong. He had an absolute stellar matches with Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, didn't he? He had the street fight at the Royal Rumble. Then he had the steel cage or Hell in a Cell match at No Way Out, I think it was. And then he had that fatal four-way match at WrestleMania where, again, he emerged victorious, pinning both Mick Foley and The Rock. And then, you know, Backlash and Judgment Day. Then he had a cracking matches with Kurt Angle that year, didn't he, at SummerSlam? So Triple H, in the year 2000 was Triple H's year, and like, you know, every single match throughout that entire period, I'd say it's probably one of the most successful, best periods of professional wrestling that I certainly have ever seen and can remember. So Triple H, big fan of old Triple H. I've actually got a Triple H tattoo, which I got when I was like 19. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Anyway. What else we got? CM Punk, best in the world. Clearly, only one match to pick from this, and that is CM Punk versus John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. That is one of wrestling's greatest ever pay-per-views. The image of CM Punk slipping away with the title and running through the crowd as Vince McMahon helplessly looked on. It is one of the greatest matches I have ever seen. You know, the whole reason and that whole storytelling, you know, is why I'm still addicted to professional wrestling to this day. CM Punk, John Cena, Money in the Bank 2011. If you've never seen that match, I highly recommend you try and find it on Netflix or YouTube or somehow watch that match. It is brilliant. And then the last one, Randy Orton. The match that made Randy Orton was, again, Mick Foley put Randy over strong, didn't he, with the whole Legend Killer gimmick. And Mick Foley, I think, and Randy Orton had a real killer kind of street fight. I think it was at Backlash. I can't remember. What is it? Backlash 2? I want to say 2002. Could be 2003, to be honest. But yeah, Mick Foley and Randy Orton, absolutely, you know, the sight of Randy Orton falling on those drawing pins and, you know, having them all in his back. I mean, that's probably one of a bump that I certainly wouldn't take is probably like a slam or a body slam on like layers and hundreds of thumbtacks. That just doesn't look very pleasant, does it? So those are my wrestling DVDs. Quick show and tell, quick highlight of a few of my favourite matches. I mean, I will have to get DVD player. Outside of that, I obviously still subscribe to my monthly magazine, Inside the Ropes. I've actually written a few letters, and I've actually had some letters published in this. So, you know, I still read me monthly magazine. I still watch AEW. I watch about 9 hours of wrestling a week. It's really difficult to try and sort of crowbar that much wrestling into your week. But, you know, I manage it somehow. Everyone says, well, why haven't you grown out of professional wrestling? Professional wrestling is my sport. It is my number one sport. It is my absolute love. It's my passion. I read about it. You know, if I can't get to sleep, I don't think about counting sheep. I think about wrestling matches, and that helps me go to sleep. So that's how much it's ingrained in my psyche. So that's the end of the video, guys. I just thought, well, I haven't seen these DVDs in sort of 15 years. I thought I'd do a quick show and tell. Shame about the ones that I am missing, but grateful to have the ones that I still do. Down to cash converters, I think. Pick up DVD player and try and start watching these again. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.